Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video. I'll be reacting to Dying Light 2 Stay Human Dying 2 No Episode 2. Alright. Here we
Please select your floor.
Already.
this chair fucking making noise in there. Shouldn't I got this cheap ass chair?
Recon.
I got it was on sale.
Be careful.
He about to the poor dude on point always get killed first. Ooh. Yeah, I remember those in the first game. Those ones that blow up. They weren't that big though. They were smaller, but they were fucked up. Their bodies and they were blood gushing out on them. And they made that same close to that noise.
Today, we're going to be talking about the
Used to try to strategize and get them to blow up around other zombies to clear them out.
You're wondering, where is Jonah?
Which is kind of hard to do.
Hard at work right now in LA recording some of the voices for Dying Light 2, so we'll forgive him for his absence. But he has left a message for you.
Hey guys, good news. I'm in LA and we're finishing up voice recordings for Aiden in Dying Light 2, and this particular quest we're working on right now showcases a lot of the disgusting, horrific freaks of nature that you're gonna find.
That's just what I like, horrific freaks of nature.
Is that the episode today of Dying to Know focuses almost entirely on those monsters, and Leia is gonna tell you
cool.
all about them.
I was actually thinking, are they changing into the monsters?
I'm not going to be there in the studio, at least this time. I'm going to be in this studio recording lines for a while. But Leia's going to take good care of you. We're going to make sure that you get everything you need to know, and I think I got to go back to work. Leia, the stage is yours. Good night. Good luck. And
wait, he got to
stay human.
memorize his lines? Where's his podium with his
Jonah.
script
Well,
at?
we might not be in sunny LA right now, but we do have something just as exciting to talk about. The monsters. We're going to be looking at how they're created. We're going to be venturing into the night in a new gameplay trailer. We're going to be seeing what's new on Techland GG and more.
Dying Light
Let's take
2
a moment
Electric
to thank
Boogaloo.
our amazing community. You. We love seeing you react to our content, and your comments help motivate the entire team. So thank you. Over 750,000 of you tuned in to the first Dying to Know live stream. Over 10 million of you have watched the first gameplay reveal trailer.
That's a lot
and
of
over
people.
17 million
Yeah, people
comments
like, oh,
have
I've been
across our
waiting for so
social media
long for
channels on all platforms.
the second
Amazing.
Dying Light. I like.
Thank you. There is literally
I'd rather
nobody
them
who
take
would
their
rather restore
time
the
and
darkness
it take
alongside
10
than you.
years than for them to take 5 years and for it to be shitty. Like, because I like the first one so much, I think I would be disappointed. Normally I wouldn't care, but it was shitty. Whatever, it happens. People make shitty games, people make good games, or whatever. It happens. But I think this game, if it's bad,
of the game designers like yourself and the others. So
it would.
what can you
It would.
tell
I
us
think
about
it would break my heart.
To say that our monsters used to be sick and suffering people who just didn't
But they
manage
seem
to
so
find
passionate
nuclei
about it.
or any other cure
And I
in
think
time.
COVID has
The
actually
virus
given them
causes
more
them a
time
lot
to
of
work
pain
on
and
it.
it makes them suffer, and they are
So,
not driven by hatred, but by instinct.
Even though, I
their
mean, I
nature.
guess
Right,
that's kind of
okay,
bad
what does
because
that
people,
process
you
look
know,
like
died
for
of
turning
COVID,
from
but
human
still,
to a monster?
So at
it
first,
gave them,
you get
but they did have to
symptoms
work from
similar to
home
fever,
probably
and
a
at
lot,
this
so
stage,
that
the
made it
process
harder
can
for
still
them
be
too.
slowed down or
But
even
in that
paused.
case,
But if you spend
hey,
too much
we're gonna
time
give
in
you like
darkness,
another year,
the sickness progresses,
you know,
and
to
your
work on it.
symptoms become more severe, and eventually you will turn into a volatile, a quick,
But it
agile,
looks good,
aggressive,
so.
bloodthirsty monster.
Right, and if it gets to that point, is there anything you can do? Is it reversible?
Well, unfortunately, once you
The
have
bind of the
turned,
chair.
there's no way to revert. And now the UV light becomes your enemy, so if you spend too much time in the sun, you will degrade into a slow-moving and shambling biter.
So what's
Oh,
that sun
wow.
sensitivity then?
So
Does
you
it
can
start to say
actually
you're kind of
turn into a
safe
zombie.
outside in the daylight, apart from the biters?
Well, yes and no. Of course, you will see less monsters on the streets than during the night, but you will still encounter some. As the sun weakens them, they try to find a place to hide, usually inside buildings. But don't go into those nests at day, as they are swarming with the infected.
Right, okay. So, I mean,
Of course, there are going to be missions where you have to go in there during the day.
And no, absolutely no. So because
Just like the first game where you had to go out at night
Right.
to do
but
certain
you can explore
missions.
those places at night.
Okay.
And because of that, we have greatly improved our stealth mechanics. So now you can go through the entire dark zone completely unnoticed. That is, as long as you stay quiet and don't misstep.
Right, okay, which is like my kryptonite because I will absolutely kick a bucket back.
No, absolutely, don't do that. Never do that.
And you're
Never
face to face
kick.
with the
No, never kick the
volatile.
bucket. No.
You're dying. And not only that, but you can encounter other special infected as well. So can you tell us
I
a
think
little bit
this is
about those?
Resident Evil
Absolutely.
putting her
So
hands up like this
They were
and
created
protecting
by
herself.
chemicals that made the infection progress too fast, causing mutations. So sometimes when you stay quiet, sneak behind them, and observe them, you will see that they seem to be uncomfortable in their new bodies, as if they didn't have time to get used to them.
Wow, okay. And they're all like quite unique and different as well,
interesting.
aren't they?
Well, yes, everyone is unique. And for example, the Revenant, who's my personal favorite, he has those things coming from his back, almost like wings. He's very scary, very dangerous, but also smart and intelligent. And to capture this part of his nature, we have kept his appearance more human.
I think smart and intelligent are two of my least favorite things when
More
encountering
human.
an enemy that sounds that scary. Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Timon. It's
Thank
been
you for having
fascinating.
me.
And now, why don't we take a sneak peek at some of those monsters in action in this brand new gameplay video.
So, you have an army here?
The peacekeepers. Seriously riling up the bazaar folks.
I'll proceed with caution.
Oh, hey, it's
You wanted to show me something?
Sure.
he was in the other episode 1. They showed him. He's like the guy who
Without it, you don't know.
created or perfected, or I guess he's the one who's given credit for creating parkour or something like that in France. At least what modernized parkour is. I think he's giving the credit. I don't know his name. I know he was in that movie District B13. He was the guy with the black hair. It was two guys. There's one with blonde hair and one black hair, if I remember. The guy who was the criminal, the guy with the black hair and the goatee.
Sleeping Beauties.
Yeah, we have to walk past them. If you crouch and move slowly, they shouldn't notice you.
Crouch and move slowly, but I want to parkour over their head.
And you're done for.
He's I'm the protagonist. I can literally do anything I want and still get out smelling like roses. Okay, the UV light doesn't hurt them, so they the regular zombies. Man, fuck this. Ain't no way, like, if any real type of scenario, I would do this. Like, no. Hell no. Unless it's something that would cure them instantly or kill them instantly, but not humans. Like, I ain't going in there. I'm like, unless we go in there like a bunch of people and we just start executing something, like shooting their ass.
Wanted to stop the infection at all costs.
Oh, big boy. You see those a lot. Well, I won't say a lot in the first game, but you saw them enough. So they became, when you see it, you be like, oh, shit. They said when you level your character up enough, they was like, oh, you just shoot him in the head a few times, and you're like, you're good. Or even hit him with a powerful melee weapon a few times, and it was good. It's the volatiles, yeah, got that. blade to mouth. Ooh, boy, you almost died. See, this shit like this, like, it was so hard for me to go out at night. Fuck? It was so hard for me to go out at night on the first game. Oh, time on the haul ass. Like, I didn't go out at night until the game was like, you have to do this mission and you to progress in the main story, and you have to do it at night. I was like, fuck.
That's great.
That was the first time I went out at night.
Sorry about what?
The
About
fuck?
that, on behalf of all its whores, bandits, and idiots, I christen you a citizen of Villador.
Oh.
You're about to turn. Get into the light fast.
Wait, what? You gotta stay on the light? Huh. That's interesting. It's, I guess, instead of taking what was it called in that game? It wasn't Zombrex. That's a Dead Rising. Antizin, I think it was called. You had to take that to keep from changing. So I guess now it's you just got to stay on the light to keep from changing. Good. That's an interesting mechanic. That was like, oh, if you stay in the dark too long, or not under UV light, I guess you transform into a zombie.
Wild. And if you want to see how the creatures we've just seen were created, Kasia Bech, the lead character concept artist, and Dominik Vashenko, the lead 3D character artist, are here to tell us more. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. So my first question for you today is, how did you come up with all of the forms and shapes for the monsters in the game?
So first we had to create a general idea of how virus could evolve visually.
Okay.
We used elements from various skin diseases, like hardened tissue working as organic armor, blisters filled with yellow pus as weak points, and some burned skin scars to create interesting texture on the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, we have
Interesting.
Demolition and his blisters. They shine at night. And that's because we wanted our monsters to be like really visible and recognizable in the darkness.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
You kind of must have had this
Especially
idea
for
from the start, and
gameplay
you wanted the
mechanics.
Demolisher to be the bigger and tougher of the monsters, right?
Yeah, we knew that he would throw heavy objects or charge.
Yeah, he do the
and
same
our
the
goal
same
was
thing
to
he
make
did
his
in
silhouette
the
really mental and
first game.
aggressive, just to show that strength.
Okay, so the Demolisher
So there was
is probably one of
two
the bigger
different types
monsters
of
in the
those. There were
game.
like the
Have you got an
really big
example
ones,
of, like, the smaller
who I
ones,
guess
maybe?
were like
Yes, of
all
course. For
cops,
example, we have
because they all
Dutch.
had the
She's
cop
insanely fast,
uniforms
because of
on.
that, she needs to be, of course, smaller than the Demolisher.
And then you had the other ones with like firefighters.
I
And,
wouldn't mess with her.
Yeah, we really wanted her femininity to show. So she's wearing a dress, though it's pretty ragged now. And also she's wearing jewelry that's fused into her body while she was turning. And her hands grew larger than the rest of her body. Almost same like in Demolishers, but here the disproportion is much bigger.
Wow, yeah, no, I feel like there's a story behind that with like the jewelry fusing to the body. That's so intense. But why are her hands so big?
Basically, they are her weapons. So, yeah, because she strikes from above, her fingers grow longer and also sharper to cut, not to hit, because yeah, so due to her lower strength.
Yeah, she's going for the kill,
Yeah.
man. She knows.
Exactly.
and
So
she's,
does that
I
mean
guess
she's
if she
expecting
attacks from above,
Banshee to jump
she's a
on us and
climber.
down on us?
Yes, she's so fast and agile that she might surprise the player, like by striking the middle.
Wow.
So, yeah, something that no other like monster can do.
No. Okay, yeah. Can't see the Demolisher doing that. Just
I hope that doesn't become annoying. Like you
thank
just
so much for joining
running
us
through the
today
world and all of a
and,
sudden you just
sharing
get
more
hit.
about the process of design. Thank
You know,
you.
by
Thank you.
this thing, this zombie woman with large
If you
hands.
like stories, we've got a bit of a treat for you. When it gets dark at night and the monsters leave their lairs and roam the city streets, the residents of the city like to gather in their safe spots under the UV lamps for protection and wait out until the dawn. And when they're doing that, they like to kill time by telling stories themselves about Banshee. for example. If you're wondering why she's wearing that beautiful necklace and ball gown, well, now you can find out.
Oh, they had a motion comic that come with the game, or you pre-order it or something. I am the cure.
Techland have partnered with Dynamite to create a comic series, and this is just a teaser of what to expect. You can get a physical copy yourself in stores soon, but if you head to techlandgg.com, you can also get a digital version for free. And also on Techland GG, there is plenty more content. You can find a brand new starter pack, more information about the monsters. You can get a 6-piece outfit coming very, very soon. More information about the game entirely, the Dying to Know shows, basically everything. So why don't you check it out for yourself at techlandgg.com. I feel like I know quite a lot about monsters now, but if there's one thing that intrigues me, it's how do you make something so inhuman and terrifying come to life in-game? Luckily, we have the one person who can answer that question here with us today. It's Dying Light 2's animation director, David Lubrica, and he's here to tell us more.
No, was he in the episode?
Hello, welcome.
Hello. So you work with the animation team in taking all that concept art and
looks
bringing it
familiar.
to life and having like an actual living, breathing monster in the game. So where do you even start with that?
So the process starts with creating a prototype and then designing choreography based on this. Then we take it to the mock-up shoot, and that's where we have our actors interpret the movements, and we actually learn from them also. That gives us some extra ideas. But the real magic happens when we take all the things we captured and start putting it into the engine and into the game's language.
Okay, can you give us an example of that in game?
Sure, like Volatile, for example. So he sniffs around, he searches for his prey, he has those cat-like jumps. But many of those movements are actually characteristics of the creatures we know from animal documentaries. And he combines them with some new ones and unique ones, and that's what makes him who he actually is.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to be like in game, I'm going to be searching him out and trying to see all these little details you've made, which is probably not the best idea because I think that will get me killed.
Right. Yeah, with him it's not the best idea. But we have other infected, and all of them.
There's one thing about the first game is once like I leveled my character up so much, I wasn't even scared to go out at night anymore. I mean, you can be overwhelmed, but I was able to kill like volatiles and like
light tower, you know, searching
3 to 4 hits.
So
it's much better because when you at the beginning of that game, you wail on those things with your low level melee weapons, and it would take like 20 hits to knock him out. You know.
Well, it's because there are some traces of his humanity in him.
And it's usually more than one of them.
But the virus has attacked his lungs and vocal cords, and that would just hurt him too much. He's helpless.
But they all just lose this fight with their instincts then at some point.
Totally. Actually, they rather evoke pity. You can see that they can notice the deformations the virus has done to their bodies. They can touch them. They can.
So these zombies are like self-aware.
And you can see that all
it's like they're self-aware, but they're driven to attack humans, to, I guess, feed or whatever. It's kind of like vampires. So like you'll be aware that you're a vampire, but you're driven by your need to feed.
The player, for example, us.
I can't wait to see that.
It's not like you're mindless.
I want to talk about Banshee because we mentioned her earlier.
You're aware, but you can't help yourself.
Looks, but like, how is she animated?
She's a curious one. She has those really long deformed fingers, and she uses them to fight, but kind of like a byproduct. And we had to imagine how she would feel about them, and we thought they must really bother her, right?
Yeah.
She can get really clumsy with them. She falls on them in this very uncontrolled way, as if she was forgetting she had them.
So it's a bit of a curse and an asset for her then. She's like conflicted.
Totally, she's really conflicted. You can actually see her sometimes actively hunting you, and then at some point, if she gets too close to you during combat, she'll just suddenly jump back and cower, as if she was trying to resist the virus, but ultimately she would just give in to its power.
Wow, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much, David.
Thanks for having me.
Sound like it's kind of giving a player like
If you've ever wondered which of the infected in the world of
giving
Dying Light you
the
might
player
be,
a,
then I've got good news. You can
or
check
giving
out
the
a quiz
enemy
at
a vulnerability. So they,
dyinglightgame.com/whichmonster
because what's the name
and
did
find out
that
whether you'd be,
in the first
you know,
game, like
violent, volatile,
the
an
infected, the ones
astronologer,
that can
or
run,
maybe a human.
like you would
Take the
hit them and they
test,
go,
share it with your
oh, no,
friends
no,
because,
don't
you
kill
know,
me.
you need allies
And
out
then
here
when
in
you
the
stop
darkness,
hitting them, they would
even if
and
you're
try to kill
infected.
you again.
Or maybe
So it was
especially
like
if
they
you're
were
infected.
intelligent enough to
And if
know
you can't wait
to
until December
like,
the
oh, are you
7th to find out
really
more about the world of Dying
okay?
Light, why not check out
But
what's
no,
been
they
added
just
to
attacked
Dying
you.
Light 1? Within the last month, over
Like they're
half a
tricking you.
million new players have entered the world of Dying Light, and we've had the highest number of active players across all platforms since launch, which is amazing. You are amazing. Thank you so much for your support and your interest in the world of Dying Light. More and more fun content is on the way to Dying Light 1 also, like the Savvy Gamer DLC or the 4th of July event. And if you head to
there's a 4th of July
Techland
event?
you could get your hands on this in-game weapon, the Wasp. So, you know, why not check out Techland GG? As if you needed more reason to. More and more fun content is added to the game regularly, so keep checking it out with more coming soon. All right, well, since Dying to Know is about the world of Dying Light 2, there's still something else we need to hear about, if you pardon the pun, because we're going to be talking about the sound design of Dying Light 2. If you've ever wondered about where the roaring, the growling, the screaming that covers the streets of the city at night comes from, then you're in the right place, because we're going to be talking to one of the lead sound designers to tell you more. Senior sound designer Tomek Shedak is here with us today. Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
You too, hello.
Your turn.
First question. Do the monsters have their own language?
They technically are not herd creatures, so they didn't develop sounds to communicate with each other, although there are some exceptions. For example, Howler, when attacked, he would scream to alert other infected, and then you can get yourself into really big troubles very, very, very soon.
Let's talk about the process of actually creating those sounds, though. So
Well,
you
that could
have to
be just a
imagine
loud
what
noise
a
if they're
volatile might
just
sound like from
attracted
scratch,
to
and
noise.
where
That
do
could
we
be
even start with
anything.
that?
Well, you know,
It's not
the
like
virus,
he like
deforms the
the
infected
creatures
in very
specifically
different ways,
saying,
and you have to reflect
"Hey,
it
I'm
in
over
their,
here. There's a
in their
human.
voices.
Come
So,
get it."
For example, the acid-spitting monster, you know, has to have sound with some kind of acidic characteristics, some watery, hissing stuff in it. And there is the Banshee, a woman monster, and her voice is high-pitched and vibrating and really, really scary.
So you work alongside your twin brother Wojtek, and he also records a lot of the sounds that you use to create these monsters, and we actually have a video of that process, so we can have a closer look at what that entails.
I want to be the guy. I let it be the guy that just does this. Just make all the sounds. Like, hey, we need you to crush, like, I don't know, pineapples for like 3 days or some shit.
Yeah, so now you can see how it works. We always start with the human throat because all of the infected were humans once.
Yeah.
And then the creative part is coming and a lot of sound design magic is happening. Also, we have to cover a lot of emotions in the infected voices because you have to know, I mean, the player has to know if the infected is in pain or is super aggressive or is maybe dying. You have to pass this message through the voice, and the message has to be very, very, very clear. So basic monster like a biter has 700 voice assets, so the scale is it's enormous.
Yeah, that's a lot to try and communicate in just sounds. So that's the monsters, but what about the entire city?
Our city is dying. So we had to find these abandoned places where there is no sound of the civilization. We visited abandoned factories. We visited post-military bunkers. We went to the forest at minus 15 degrees because it sounds completely different than in the summer. And we climbed up the mountains. It was a lot of interesting places we wouldn't visit without Dying Light 2.
I guess what is
with the good
either
headphones,
no
you can
to very
definitely enjoy it.
little
I cannot
people
wait
at,
to hear it. It
so
sounds like you've got a
you don't
fascinating
hear a
job.
whole lot of noise. Like if you're out in the
Thank you so much
country,
for coming in today.
Thank you for
you
having
could
me.
really
You can check
hardly
out the
hear
hard
anything.
work
You
of the
might
Shirak
hear the
brothers and
occasional
their teams
car
when Dying Light 2
or
releases
stuff like
on
that,
December
but
the 7th.
it's not a lot of noise. You hear like crickets, stuff like that, or
You can
maybe,
become a part of that amazing universe.
dog
Remember the
or
UGC
something.
contest? It's already started, so just show us your art to be in with a chance of winning a copy.
It's definitely
of
a
the
lot
already
less
sold out
noise than living
collector's
in the city.
edition and join the world
Or
of
living next to
Dying
a
Light 2.
fucking
Just look at all the amazing
expressway.
things people have already created. Dying Light 2 releases later this year on December the 7th, and you can pre-order it right now. But if you want to dive into the universe immediately, then why don't you check out Techland GG for more news, updates, and to grab your free copy of the Banshee.
I think I will check out Techland GG. Thank you. That's it.
All right, I think we know everything about monsters now, except for one thing: how to defeat them. So stay tuned for the next
You
episode.
hit them
We'll be looking at different
until
combat
they fall
styles,
down.
weapon crafting, and the iconic
Interesting.
Dying Light 2 parkour,
Weapon craft.
which was designed in cooperation with this man.
I think I definitely have to. Okay, so they actually did get the guy. I should have figured when they got his face, they had to at least pay for his likeness. I didn't even know he still did parkour. Wait a minute, well, he was in a movie, it wasn't like 3 years ago? Maybe 4 years ago? They did that remake of, it might have been longer than that, because they did a remake of District B13, but they had Paul Walker in the place of the cop instead of the other guy.
Bien sûr, il y aura des mouvements originels de David Bell. Maintenant, c'est à vous de les trouver.
By the way, I'm Hakon.
Yeah?
You'll do
Wait,
better
what?
on your own. Trust me.
Thanks for watching episode 2 of Dying to Know. And remember, the virus isn't the only thing that makes a monster. So stay human.
Except humans are the real monsters. It's like The Walking Dead, where the humans are actually worse than the zombies. Or walkers, I guess you could say. So they don't, since zombie lore doesn't exist in that world. But, okay, interesting. So this was more about displaying the monsters than anything else. Well, no, the sound design, stuff like that. But the monsters, I mean, I figured they were gonna add something because I know they had like the regular zombies, the ones that you see all the time, slow moving ones. You had, I always forget the name. I know the volatiles are the big mutated ones with the the blade 2 vampire mouths. I think the fast zombies are just called infected. They still look human, but they can run. So they can run and climb and stuff like that. So you'll see those, and this is the first game. The regular zombies, I just say regular zombies, infected are the fast zombies. And then the volatiles are like the big, strong, mutated zombies. They're faster than you are, but they can't climb as good as you can. So you have to do a lot of climbing to get away from them. And then you had the, I can't remember the name of it. I know they had the frog looking way. They could spit acid. They had the really big, giant zombies. They always looked like they were SWAT cops or SWAT officers, and they rip concrete out of the ground and throw it at you. And then you had the big ones, but they were smaller than those, and they always had like a makeshift like sledgehammer. Like they have like it'd be like a bunch of rebar with like concrete like a part of it, so they use that to like hit you with it. What else? Does anything else? I think that was it as far as the zombie. It's been a little while since I played that game, but you would think I remember it better. How many times I've beaten it, and that I usually just play it just for fun for like a few hours a day for a little while. But I was planning on doing a playthrough of it before this game come out. I just haven't done it yet. But yeah, but this looks good though. So they've added like I'm pretty sure people probably gonna like, oh, you added like a witch, like from what was it Left 4 Dead, like that witch kind of like, cause wasn't her hands like big like that? Well, they didn't look quite like that, but they were like, maybe it was her fingers like long and sharp. I'm thinking about, but I think she screamed or something. But I didn't play Left 4 Dead really that much, and I don't own an Xbox. I played that like over friends' houses with who had that game, but well, I guess I could get it on PC, but just never did. Well, I'm not a huge fan of first-person shooter, which is funny because I've said that Dying Light is like one of my favorite games in the past like 10 years, or probably a little bit more now. So I know it's weird, but I gave that game because I was like, oh, yeah, zombies and parkour, like two things I like. So I gave it a chance, and I enjoyed it. But I mean, I also played, before that, Dead Island. I played that a lot with, like, online with, like, my brother or, like, my friends and stuff like that. So, and I will say, like, that you can do, because your character feels very stiff in Dead Island compared to Dying Light. So that's why I felt like when Dying Light came out and I started playing that with my friends and my brother, it felt so, because the movement felt so much better because you didn't feel so stiff. It almost felt like you as a person was actually in the game. I mean, I can't do all that parkour shit. I mean, I can lift my own weight, but like running on walls and shit, I don't think I can do. I don't think I'm that agile. And but the movement was so much freer and it felt better. Like I said, it was basically like a mixture of Mirror's Edge and Dead Island, where you could do parkour plus you can craft weapons like in Dead Island and stuff like that. So, but like Dead Island, I mean, it was a fun game. It just, when Dying Light came out and it was the parkour, it was just great. And then The Following came out, Dying Light The Following, and the buggy driving in that is better than some driving that I've played in driving games. I was like, I remember playing that, I was like, why is the driving in this game better than driving in games that only focus on driving? Like, so that was great. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have done that. It was like dust on the thing. Why don't you just go straight up in there? But this was good. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my reaction. And if you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. See y'all next time. Peace.